Roach boy Pierre. Yeah. Whoa. Fuck, nah, for real. Like, what? What type of swagger is this? Got diamonds, my neck and my wrist. My diamonds resembling piss. Man, what type of shit is this? Way too much money exists to be sitting around broke and be pissed. I just be stacking my chips, hopping the whip in the gas my dick. What kind of swagger is this? Nigga, what swagger is this? Hey, what kind of shit is this? Man, this shit ridiculous. What kind of swagger is this?
We're back at it.
Nigga, what swagger is this? Hey, what kind of shit is this?
Back at it again, reporting to you live from Stone Mountain, Georgia. The infamous Hambrick Road. The infamous Hambrick Road. We're about to walk up on the intersection of Hambrick Road and Central Drive, which was the foundation of my childhood as a young street nigga in Metro Atlanta, in Stone Mountain, in DeKalb County. My formative years spent right here on this road, Hambrick Road. We're walking up and down this road for, at this point, over 20 years straight. Anybody you ask about Hambrick Road in the state of Georgia, in the city of Atlanta, in the Metro Atlanta area, knows the notoriety, the impact, the significance of Hambrick Road in the Metro Atlanta area. Yeah, so we're right here. Taking a quick late evening, early morning walk. It's about (3:45), 4 o'clock in the morning. June 7th, the 7th of June, 2021. Motherfuckers really getting ready to take their ass to work. I'm off this week, so I'm just kicking shit. Just kicking shit on this Hambrick Road. Yeah, so this morning's video is about my critique on the black market cannabis sales industry in the state of Georgia in 2021. Oh God, I wrote my black market blunt of cannabis. Reroll my black market cannabis cigar. Relight my black market cannabis cigar. I hope I just can walk around and kick it. God, I don't want no trouble tonight. I might need to go back through Hunter's Vineyard, another neighborhood right here on Hambrick Road in Stone Mountain. Yeah. So this episode is about my critique, my opinion, my viewpoint, my analysis of the black market cannabis industry in Georgia. But it correlates to pretty much the black market cannabis industry in any state at this point. It correlates. In the land of the free. The home of the brave. In the state of Georgia, in these United States of America in 2021. Okay, cool. All right. So, first things first, this critique of the black market cannabis industry in Georgia and Metro Atlanta in 2021 stems primarily from the failure of the United States federal quote-unquote war on drugs. The war on drugs has been a failure of the United States. The FBI, the DEA, CIA, the Department of Homeland Security, etc., been unable incapable of stemming the tide of illegal drugs into the United States from the 1960s and 1950s Nixon era. Presidential administration. They have been unable to stop illicit narcotics listed on the DEA schedule of drugs from becoming available to the American public. This is facts. The United States government's been unable to stop drugs from getting into the hands of children and adults. However, regardless of the amount of financial and human capital resources the government has poured into this problem, it's been a failure. It has not worked. Drugs, of course, have always been available to anybody in the general public who's taken an interest in finding them. It's not hard to find drugs in America, regardless of your preference, whether it be legal prescription medications that you take for legitimate or illegitimate purposes, or illicit narcotics that individuals entertain for personal gratification. It's just been a failure. Okay? So, with that being said, these drugs have become available through whatever supply chain there is in the black market or in the, I want to say white market or legitimate market. These drugs have become available to the general public in the United States. No judgments. Let's talk about it. Every drug on the planet comes from some natural or pretty much, every drug on the planet comes from some natural source. It's grown by some plant or organism. That organism takes advantage of or possesses some psychedelic or mood-altering effects by nature, given by God, of course. God putting the highest one, the most high, putting products on the earth, plants and animals on the earth, each for its own specific purpose. And Adam and Eve being the original caretakers of the Garden of Eden, the tenders of the Garden of Eden, with control, with authority, dominion over all plants and animals on the planet. So yeah. So regardless of whether they're imported or grown or produced within the United States, there are a vast assortment of chemical substances that can be colloquially acquired to suit one's own specific recreational purposes. Baseline. You can get drugs in America. However, the human is a enterprising organism on the planet. Who seeks to maximize his utility through manipulation of the Earth's resources. In that sense, he has recognized the effects, the benefits, the disadvantages of each of these plants that I've discussed, and he has sought to maximize his profit, maximize his utility in each regard. So these products are available. People know about them. They've harvested them. They want to use them to their own specific ends. Let's talk about cannabis. Now, cannabis is grown, different strains, just like a flower. Think of any flower you've seen. There's different varieties, different species, strains. Speak of the scientific language. Different types of flowers, each with specific effects and owing to their genetic makeup. So yeah, cannabis, people call cannabis anything. It's just called weed. It's called grass. It has several colloquial names: joint, cred, Thai stick, taken back. Any number of different names for the plant. Different methods of administration, manufacturing, whatever. So these people manipulate, cultivate the plant for commercial sale. However, the end consumer in a black market industry in America cannot be fully guaranteed as to the authenticity of the product they're purchasing. That's the main problem in the black market drug industry in the United States, in contrast to the failed war on drugs. People wanting to get their drugs, they're going to get their drugs by whichever means they find available to them, whether it be personal production or sale, acquisition, bartering, theft, robbery, murder, etc. The list goes on. These drugs are going to become available to them. However, there's no legitimacy as to the origin, content, ingredients, components of the products that they are acquiring. Imagine a world where you You're down to your last dollar. You got a family of 4 to feed. You go out to, in your human evil sense, in your human even evil mind, you connive a plan to commit a robbery for drugs, a known drug dealer. You go and commit the robbery, rob the drug dealer, successfully rob the drug dealer, quote unquote. Is a tussle over the gun during the commission of the robbery, felony murder. You shoot the gun goes off, unintended. You're struggling over the trigger of the gun goes off. An individual is hit by gunfire, succumbs to his injuries. You run out with the spoils of your robbery. You run out with the spoils of your take. The drugs that are alleged to be within the location. You get back to your safety of your home environment to inspect your take. You made a good haul. You got several 100 pounds, maybe, of these drugs. You may be a drug user yourself or not. But now you know you've got this resource that you can capitalize upon, provided you stay under the radar of law enforcement, criminal justice system. You have an opportunity to capitalize on this act that you've just committed. Why would you get into the drug industry if you're not a drug user yourself? Let's try to use the drugs, see if they're authentic, see if they're good. You know, the average drug user is not going to be a college graduate, a doctoral student, master's graduate student. He's just a product of his environment. Let's use the drugs, see how good they are. In 2021 in Georgia, there have been several cases of drugs that have been laced or combined with fentanyl, which is a synthetic pain reliever, opioid. This product is extremely potent and in concentrated quantities can be fatal to the human body. International alien drug traffickers seek to capitalize on this substance for their own ends. They're adulterating the drugs that they're providing or coming into contact with the substance for the purpose of profit. You get these drugs that you've unfortunately committed violence for in the process of acquiring, not only to sell these drugs yourself, but to take them, to ingest them. And thankfully, before you poison the community by mass distribution of the drug, you succumb to the effects of these adulterated drugs or substances yourself. This is the plight of the illicit narcotics consumer in the black market environment in the United States today in 2021. Regardless of the substance you choose. Now, it's a cannabis channel. Cannabis attitudes have been changing over the past 10, 15, 20 years in America. Cannabis, of course, being one of the more natural drugs known to humanity, the most popular drug consumed by humans after alcohol, I believe. Maybe neck and neck with alcohol, cannabis and alcohol. However, due to the greater social acceptability, we're on Central Drive now. We just passed the intersection of Hamburg Road and Central Drive. We was on Hamburg Road before, now we're on Central Drive, right across from Stone Mountain High School. I'm gonna just post this directly to my YouTube page. No editing or anything. Really in the community. 24/7. Yeah. So alcohol, due to its cultural acceptability from the, we'll just call it the Western domination, colonization, consumption of the Eastern colonization of the Western Hemisphere. The indoctrination of the Western Hemisphere. Alcohol has been more socially acceptable, more normative. Therefore, it's been commercialized. Commercial methods of production of alcohol, distillation of alcohol, marketing of alcohol, mass distribution of alcohol to the general public. An industry's been created. Standards and guidelines and benchmarks and checks and balances created to ensure the legitimacy, the safety of the safety of alcohol products. So yeah, there's a greater degree of safety, knowledgeability, there's a greater degree of security, guarantee in the alcoholic products that you consume. Their origins, ingredients, manufacturing processes. There's something there. Not present for illicit narcotics that have been identified as scheduled or prohibited in the United States. Alcohol, however, is a poisonous substance to the human body. It's a central nervous system depressant. It depresses or inhibits or reduces natural body functions, your heart rate, your breathing rate, respiration rate, inhibitions. But this product is not only legal, but widely available to the general public. With the black market drug industry in the United States, drugs like cannabis specifically, I make a differentiation between cannabis and harder, quote unquote, drugs of dependence, drugs of addiction. Cannabis lacks this legitimate acceptance in the general public. in the public eye. So what you find here in states like Georgia, where, of course, that was a long monologue to my lead up. What you find here in states like Georgia, where legislation is more conservative or restrictive of narcotic substances identified as being narcotic. In the environment of humans who will do anything to not only acquire for their own purposes, ingestion purposes, but to capitalize or sell or transfer or distribute these drugs to create revenue for themselves. There's a lack of framework. However, a quickly changing in this 2015 to 2021 environment framework. This is like a friend of mine had some, what is he called it? Collins Avenue exotic, which is exotic weed in Georgia. Atlanta is cannabis flower that has a higher content, an elevated content, OG, ocean grown, original gangster, by comparison, quote unquote, having a lower THC content, however, not having the seeds that people associate with mid-grade or Reggie or regular cannabis flower. The only thing one can be assured of, and honestly not even 100% of the time, is that there's no male seeds in the cannabis flower. That's a differentiator between higher quality strains of cannabis and lower quality strains of cannabis, is the presence of seeds. Sinsemilla, or the female cannabis plant, having the highest THC content, which is why it's more valued. Sinsemilla, as Jamaicans would call it, sinsemilla, or the female cannabis plant, which is a nod to the worth and significance of the female, the woman, in the grand scheme of intelligent design, in my opinion. So yeah, you have this problem. People want to get these products, they want to use these products. They know people who have contacts or connections with the product, but can't ensure the legitimacy or safety of these products due to societal, social external pressures. This creates an unsafe market where people are not only exposed to violent crime or predatory crime, but risks and liabilities to themselves by adulterated or illegitimate, or quote unquote, I can't say illegitimate or legitimate, but shisty, or, disingenuous attitudes in the market. Now, I believe personally that there's a purpose and use for any substance, plant, animal, organism, carbon-based life form in the universe So I respect the significance of any products that have been identified as being having an interaction with the human body or the mammalian body, the study of biology and science and pharmacology. There's something there. It's important to be able to use these products to promote human life. And there's also been studies, more so punitively for the purpose of course, the harder drugs, as I previously mentioned, cocaine, heroin, methamphetamines, alcohol. More study to identify the risks, the benefits of these drugs. And to some extent, an approach that's been adopted in some countries like Portugal, even domestically in states like Oregon, where all drugs are decriminalized. There's no criminal penalty of incarceration for any drug. It reduces the, at least, societal harms or dangers of interaction with the substance, the social mores and attitudes associated with these substances. But it does little to affirm the legitimacy or efficacy or safety of these substances. It's just the gamble you take in the black market illicit substance industry in the United States in 2021. It's just the risk you take. So, I'm about to walk through the cut though. I'm in the hood. I'm really in the hood. The hood I grew up in. Yeah, so we ought to walk through the cut too. I guess this is episode 2 of Geeked. This is episode 2 of Geeked. Message about my critique on the black market drug industry in the United States in 2021. I'm right here in the hood having a candid conversation. Yeah. Hey, walking up to the cut too. On some real shit. So yeah, these are the dangers that are associated with interaction. That's why public policy programs, ad campaigns like Just Say No, the Nixon era, abstinence, or Just Say No campaigns were so popular. They advocated abstinence from all drug or, illicit narcotics or substances that were not prescribed by a licensed physician. Can't say it's right or wrong, People have different views of government, the reach that government should have on their lives. We in Cedar Park here. There's white people over here too. I really gotta get up out the street. So yeah. This has been a conversation about my critique of the black market drug industry in the United States in 2021 in terms of cannabis, as well as any other illicit scheduled substance an American citizen chooses to ingest or involve themselves with. There are associated risks, there are dangers, there are capitalist, profit-motivated attitudes, legitimacy concerns, criminal justice concerns, incarceration concerns. That are associated with involvement in the black market illicit substance industry in the United States. Some substances are more socially acceptable than others, which lends to their analysis and marketability. However, this availability or marketability does not necessarily translate to a product's safety or lethality to the human body. A substance like nicotine or alcohol, while it's more widely available, is or has been proven to be more detrimental to the human body than a substance like cannabis, which interacts with integral mammalian function. In the endocannabinoid system. So you take your chances in the contemporary black market drug experience in 2021 in the United States. But man, in his quote-unquote infinite wisdom, will do whatever it takes. It's been shown he'll do whatever it takes to secure his own selfish ends, regardless of human compassion for others. So, if you do choose to involve yourself with the illicit black market substance industry in the United States, be aware of the dangers and pitfalls of this involvement, or ascribe to that more conservative approach of abstinence, which is honestly probably more beneficial or efficient or wise-minded. It's just a message on my current critique of the illicit, the black market drug industry in the United States today in June of 2021. Drop your thoughts and comments and likes in the comment section, like section below. Let me know what you think about this. Let's have a conversation. 710 Auburn. This is some Collins Ave exotic and some OG. Unconfirmed origins, not unverifiable origins of the product, but based on my experience in the black market industry, I've been able to smell, see, taste, observe that this is a quote-unquote high quality product. Tell me what you think about it, how things are going in your area. Let's talk about it.